Hello everybody. Today I am bringing you a layout with these photos, and they were from a recent book club that I went to with some friends. I'm going to use that navy polka dot paper as my background, and that's from Echo Park. It's the I Love Winter collection, and it's called Winter Wonderland. And then I was looking at these sheets of cut aparts, and I found that one that says eat, drink, and be cozy. And that is so apropos for this group of women because my book club is made up of old high school friends, and we travel often to see each other because we don't all live in the same place. So we go to one of three destinations kind of basically. So it's usually a weekend thing for us where we literally do eat, drink, and be cozy. So that cut apart there is from Pebbles, the Winter Wonderland collection, and it's the Snow Fun paper, and that collection is from 2015, so it may not be available. Right now I'm working with that red striped paper, and that's going to be my photo mat for everything here. And I also went to some die cuts, and I found a journaling card that's going to balance all the white in the eat, drink, and be cozy. The other thing is I still thought that eat, drink, and be cozy was a little bit too white. So I went to my inks and I found my Hero Art Shadow ink. It's the mid-tone navy. And I'm going to use that to ink up all the edges of the white pieces and actually everything else on this layout as well. So that red paper, I haven't gotten a chance to tell you what that is. That's from Imaginis. It doesn't have a collection name or a paper name, but it's number 400118. That's from 2013 though, so yay for me for using something that's 4 years old from my stash. But I love the combination of the red and navy and kind of teal color here. For some reason, I love to add red pops into my winter scrapbooking, especially when I'm scrapbooking like snowy photos. Plus on this one, I have a little bit of red on the leggings I'm wearing, and there's a red bow on the greens in the picture of the snow, which is probably hard for you to see, but you can see the red pop. So I just kind of like how that brings in some little details from the photos as well. And what I decided here was I decided to do just like a grid, basically, sort of a little bit of a modified grid. And I love the way that looks. It keeps everything sort of contained, and I still get to use that eat, drink, and be cozy 3x4 card there. That tag there and all the other die cut pieces that I'm going to use are from the Echo Park I Love Winter collection, and it's from the ephemera die cut pieces, just so you know that is. And then the other thing I need to tell you about is I decided to use a very large piece of paper underneath the red to sort of frame out the red paper and that snowflake paper. So I chose that kind of aqua colored snowflake paper. Is also from the Echo Park I Love Winter collection, and it's called Cup of Cheer. And that's a really cute snowflake paper, and gives you, the way the snowflake trails are or flourishes, just gives you a real wintry feeling. And while we were at this friend's house, it did snow off and on quite a bit during the weekend, so it was just kind of nice to add that in. All right, so I know that I'm going to want a fairly long book title here. I'm going to call it Winter Book Club. And so I decided to use these Jelly Bean Soup Alpha Beans in Roma Red. It's a really nice font, and I'm going to use all of my all caps on this one, just because I want the title to stand out and be fairly chunky, but I need it to be small because I want it to go across the top there and just stay on the aqua snowflake flourish paper there. And what I'm doing is I decided as I was working with this that I didn't have quite enough space at the top of the red paper to sort of balance this out. When I put the title on up there with the way it was, I didn't have much of a margin on top of the alphabet or above the alphabet. So I pulled off that red paper, and I'm going to go back and re-glue that once I get my title done. Now for long titles like this, and you know this if you've seen me work at all, almost any title, but especially long titles like this, I really love using my wax paper because it really helps me figure out how to position the words and the title itself without a lot of fussing around. I really admire scrapbook designers who can put a title down and have it make it work. Sarah Swan comes to mind. She does long titles all the time, and she doesn't really use wax paper, so that's pretty awesome. I, however, do not have that talent. It's not one of my scrapbooking superpowers. All right, so I was just checking, you know, I left the title up there, just checking, and now I'm much more pleased with the amount of space I have above. And I'm just going to, what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to kind of position where the first letters are in these words, and that will help me get the spacing for all the other letters, just because I don't want to put too much spacing in anything between anything as I put the letters on. And I'm using my cutter bee tweezers here just because it makes it a lot easier for me to get those letters on and to poke out the insides of the alphabets. I tend to poke my insides out of my letters, not my alphabets. I know not everybody does. Once in a while I'll leave one, but usually I poke them out. All right, so that was a very long title, but it was actually pretty quick because I've sped this up 3 times. This whole layout was actually pretty long for me. I think I fussed a lot with the embellishments here, and it took me 55 minutes to do this, which is a fairly long layout for me. Usually I'm right in the neighborhood of about 40 minutes, I've found. So I'm kind of playing back and forth, and I found that embellishment that says, "Have a cup of cheer," and I really liked that. And then I liked the 2 snowflake embellishments as well. So I found that round snowflake that's going to go in the top right, and I found the square snowflake that's going to go in the left, on the left there. And then I was considering using that red phrase too, but I thought it was too many words really close to each other, and then on top of that the red was kind of blending into the red paper. Now I did go to a sticker sheet here, and I found these coffee cups from the Pebbles Winter Wonderland collection again, the sticker sheet. But once I kind of started playing with them, I just didn't like the way they looked, because I also found these snowflakes, and I really wanted to get those snowflakes on there because I drink coffee all the time, and that's easier. It doesn't always snow, or it doesn't always seem appropriate to use snowflakes. So by the time I started putting the snowflakes on from that same sticker sheet from the Pebbles Winter Wonderland, I just didn't care for the way the coffee cups, or at least the 2 coffee cups, worked. And then eventually I'm going to take the other coffee cup off as well too. I'm just playing around here a bit with positioning and which snowflakes are going to go where. And I like them. They're glitter, so they're kind of fun. They're white and glittery. Let's see, I'm playing around a little bit there. And I think the size and some of the openness was bothering me with some of the snowflakes. So now I think I have these positioned the way they're going to end up positioned. And I'm just kind of tucking things under. The other thing that I found myself doing is I'm enjoying combining the wood veneer snowflakes onto my layouts when I'm using basically the red, white, and blue winter theme. It just adds kind of another little bit of a dimension. So I'm going to take my Studio Calico snowflakes here and play around a little bit with which snowflakes I'm going to use. But eventually I'll get that figured out. Then we'll get those down. And now I'm taking my navy ink again. This is a really beautiful navy color if you're looking for a good navy. And I think it stamps pretty nicely. I'm not the biggest stamper, so, you know, who knows if that's really accurate, but I like how it looks in the end. All right, so I'm just getting these embellishments down. And I'm using my ATG on the back of those snowflakes. I like it because it's a pretty strong adhesive. It is a little bit of a pain because you have to kind of, where there's open areas, you have to get the ATG off of that, but it's not that big of a deal. I could use my Scotch Quick Dry, but the ATG just sticks better for me with less effort. How about that? All right, now I am going to find some twine. I'm looking for some twine here and trying to decide what color. I really wanted my blue, but my blue twine, I thought I had blue twine anyway. It wasn't in there in my twine box, and I store my twine in old cigar boxes. But eventually I'm going to find it. And then I keep going back and forth about which twine. So then I put the twine on, I cut it, and I cut it too short. So this twine is going to be a little bit of an adventure here. I don't exactly remember where I went here and what I was grabbing. Oh, I know what it is. I was going to look for stamps because I'm going to do something you almost never see, and I'm going to stamp on this layout. And in between, I found my blue twine I had stuck it accidentally in a wrong drawer. So I go back to that tag for the third time and put the third kind of twine on. Now I have tons of twine, so that wasn't really a waste there. So here I am again, and I found that stamp. That stamp is from Allie Edwards' December Daily Stamps. It was from this year, and it's the number 25661. It has lots of great phrases on it that really mostly can be used for everyday scrapbooking. So I'm going to take one of those phrases, and I decided, you know, since I have this out, I might as well actually use this. And I'm going to stamp time together up there. On the bottom one, it's connecting with others. And then I decide I want to stamp again, and then when I stamped the second time, I decided to stamp the third time as well. And I actually fully stamp this. Sometimes I'll just stamp off, but I decided to just stamp the same phrase in the same depth of ink color. So there we go. I got time together stamped up there. And now I'm looking for a third phrase up there because I want to stamp something on the left there. And I pulled out a couple of other stamp sets to see if I could find something else that would work. But those other fonts were so large, and I have a very, very narrow band there. So I don't remember what the whole phrase is on this, but it was something love. And what I did is I just inked up the word love, and I was living a little dangerously here because I didn't protect my card on the right there, but I managed to stamp it without getting it anywhere else. So yay for me, I actually used my stamp sets, and I really like just the little extra detail that puts in there. I use pattern paper as background so much that, I don't know, I have kind of a scrapbooking kryptonite thing where I just feel like I can't use the stamps on a pattern paper background, although this is pattern paper and it looks great, so I have to remember that. So now I went to my enamel dots. I want to put some enamel dots on this just for an extra little texture, but it also reminds, the white ones also remind me of snowballs. So I'm going to get those down and I'll be done. I'll journal off camera. Here's a still shot and a couple of detail shots. Hope you are all well, and I'll be back again soon. Bye.